Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. I'm going to be doing a general collective tarot reading for you today. Hope everyone's doing well, enjoying the summer. Hope good things are happening for you. I'm not going to take up too much of your time in the beginning. I'm just going to remind you all that this is a collective reading. Some things may resonate, some things may not. Please use your discretion, take what resonates, and leave what does not. We're going to see what messages Spirit has for you today. First card, Judgment. Somebody's feeling judged. Ooh, this feels like a truth is coming out. The King of Swords. Someone is speaking a truth. There's some type of judgment here behind the truth. Okay. Someone is defending themselves, being defensive. Okay. With the Artist, this is a card of a different way of being, a different way of seeing things. This is a card of creativity. I have to look that up again. I don't see that card often. Hold on, something flipped over here. Oh, and we have the Death. There's an ending. An ending for a transformation. And on the bottom of the deck, we have the Knight of Pentacles. This is a slow-moving energy, focused, but slow-moving. So we'll see how that relates to the reading. I'm sure it will come out. Okay. There's some kind of truth coming out. It's leading to some judgment. And someone is feeling defensive, defending themselves. I don't know what they're defending, but that seems to be what's driving this energy. I'm sort of feeling like whatever this defensiveness is, it has something to do with this truth that's coming out, or the truth that's being spoken. Someone's speaking a truth, and it's causing someone to feel defensive about what's being spoken. And there's some judgment here. Someone's being called out. And with this Artist energy, you know what? I'm going to look it up right now. I can't remember, but I'm feeling like a way of seeing things, being someone that's really different, maybe creative, but this is like a way of looking at your life or looking at the world in a different way, a way that's not That's not typical. Let me see. The artist. Okay, it says visionary, yeah. Interpreter, creation, passionate. This is someone who is interpreting the world in a different sort of way. This is about interpreting the human condition, like really looking at it in a deep way and interpreting it. It says this card is, the artist is the vessel of creation. This card signifies humankind and shows when you need to open to the knowledge that is available if you stop and set aside the distractions of the human condition and listen. So this card is about digging deeper. It's about really listening to what your life is trying to tell you. So immediately I'm feeling that someone is not paying attention. It feels like things are being revealed, truths are coming out, and someone really needs to stop and pay attention to what is happening and why it's happening. What they're missing, it's like, and this is the stability, this is what's hidden. It's the ability to see beyond what's what's in front of you, but also it feels like to see the causes of things, you know what I mean? To evaluate not only what you see, but why, what is coming into your life, but why is it coming into your life? What knowledge is, because life is always teaching us, right? So what knowledge, what is the lesson in what is happening now? What do I need to learn from this? What am I not seeing? And then with the death, there feels like something is ending in order for transformation to occur. Yeah, like there needs to be some type of ending, or there may already be an ending. But I'm looking at this in a sort of progressive state. So yeah, let's dig into the tarot and see, get some understanding, some deeper understanding behind these energies. Sorry, guys. No, I can't shuffle in front of the camera for whatever reason. All right. Okay. So what do we need to know about judgment? Ooh. Ace of Coins came out and flipped to reverse. Someone is unfocused. This feels like the Ace of Coins is about an opportunity being presented. This is someone who, this is maybe a bad investment. Yeah. Okay. So what else do we need to know? The Star. System. Okay. This is divine guidance. This is spiritual guidance, following the highest. Okay. What else? Someone's expecting something. This is a lack of opportunity, or a bad investment. This judgment. This judgment is coming. Someone didn't invest well. Maybe didn't take the right opportunity. Oh, someone didn't take an opportunity to follow. So I feel like the star is about being guided, right? Being guided by your higher self, by God, by spirit, having spiritual guidance. So spirit is trying to guide you to something, and it feels like you didn't take this opportunity. Someone did not accept this opportunity. They didn't follow their guidance system, their internal guidance system. So, in other words, something was saying, come this way. Something was guiding you to make a choice, make a decision, take an opportunity to do something, and you didn't take it, with the Ace of Coins in reverse. Or you invested in, there was some type of investment that was not a good investment. And then we have the Three of Wands here, which is something coming, expecting something to come, something being expected. And that's the reason for this judgment. It's the judgment that came after this. Somebody made a bad choice. Somebody did not do something that they were supposed to do. They were called to do something, and they didn't do it. They didn't do it. It had something to do with the truth, this feels like it's important. You have two angels here. You have the star, and her hands are lifted, right, to the highest. And then you have the Three of Wands here, which is a card of expectation, right? And it's also lifted to the highest. So this was something very important that needed to be done. It was an opportunity, some type of investment, something was telling you to do something, to go, to take an opportunity, to study something, to the Ace of Coins is just and look, there's a door on this card. Somebody, you were called to walk through this door, to go this way. You were called to some type of path. There was some path that you were supposed to take, something you were supposed to do. And you were guided by spirit to do it, but you didn't do it. You knew the right thing. It was the right thing to do. And someone knew the right thing, and they didn't do it. And so we have here what's expected. You didn't, the truth was seen that you didn't do, somebody speaking the truth that you did not do what you were supposed to do. And here we have judgment. What else do we need to know about judgment? The emperor. Yeah. This, honestly, this feels like a calling. This feels, the emperor is, this could be a father figure. This could be, but this is someone who takes authority, who builds. This is a builder. I feel like this is someone who's supposed to create a foundation and stability, not just for himself, but this is someone who is responsible for others. This is someone who is a father figure. It could be masculine or feminine. Could be a feminine who has was supposed to be someone this is someone who is responsible not only for themselves, but they provide a foundation and stability and structure for other people, like a father figure. Someone who's supposed to be trustworthy, and someone who has the eyes, who has vision, who can kind of see things, who has, what do they call it? Who can see the bigger picture, and who can orchestrate, and direct, and who can lead. This is a leader, the emperor. I feel like this was supposed to be the opportunity. Someone was supposed to be a leader, but they failed to lead. Okay. And now we have judgment. Yep, there was an expectation here. There was a calling, some type of calling. We got two angels here. There was a calling for someone to be a leader, and they didn't. They didn't walk through the door. They didn't take the opportunity. They did not make the investment in what they were called to do. And therefore we have judgment. Okay. Tell me about the King of Swords. What do we need to know about that energy? We have the Two of Coins. That's making a balance, being in alignment, knowing what you're supposed to do, right? The Two of Coins is the Two of Pentacles. It's like you have this ace here, which is the opportunity that was not taken. The bad investment. Someone invested very poorly. But once you make the investment, then you have to figure out how to balance everything, right? You have to figure out how to balance and make aligned choices. This is where you have to start making choices. And it feels like this falling in line, yeah, with the King of Swords being in alignment with the truth. That's what the choice was. Being in alignment with the truth. And look, we have the Judgment card again. Judgment. Looking at yourself in the mirror. Seeing yourself for who you really are. Seeing the truth. Okay, that's taking accountability. That's what that is. Taking accountability. And then we have the Wheel of Fortune change. Whatever this is, feels like someone's being called to take accountability for your choices. Tell the truth. Yeah. There's a need to take a King of Swords this is someone who stands on the truth. This is someone who does not deny the truth. They see the truth and they stand on it. And they are governed by it. And this energy is expecting to take accountability. Take accountability and change here. That feels like an opportunity, right? Okay, you did not do what you were supposed to do in the beginning here. You didn't follow the highest. You didn't take the opportunity or make the investment. You were destined, this person was destined to be a leader. I don't know who this is that I'm talking about, but if this reading resonates, you know who it is. But they didn't do what they were supposed to do. And they need to take accountability for their choices. And change. Tell me, is there anything else about the King of Swords? Yeah, this is a lesson on, oh, okay. Yeah, we have a High Priestess here. The truth is seen. The High Priestess knows the truth, but she doesn't always come right out with everything that she knows. She sees the whole, what's hidden. We're talking about what's in the subconscious, meaning the High Priestess understands not only what you do, but why you do it. What's in your subconscious that that leads you to do things. It feels like there's a need to face yourself, face yourself and change, right? But not just any type of change. We have the Wheel of Fortune here. Not just any type of change. This is see yourself fully. Take accountability. Tell the truth about what you chose or what you choose in your life, right? We all make choices, but we have to take accountability for what we choose. No matter how it pans out. Feels like, that's how you change, right? And you don't just change. You don't need anybody else to judge you, right? You can look in the mirror and see yourself fully and judge yourself. It feels like that's what you're being called to do. This person, look in the mirror and see yourself and take accountability for your choices. And when you do that, life changes in your favor. Things can change in your favor. Just because you make a bad decision and you miss an opportunity does not mean that it's the end. Because when change happens is when you take accountability for what you chose and you be honest with yourself. That's what the King of Swords is telling you. Be honest with yourself, and then true change can happen in your favor. Recognize the things that are hidden within you that force you to, what is it in your subconscious mind that made you deny your calling? This feels like someone denied their calling. And with the High Priestess here, you know You know you have a calling. The Nine of Cups. This is emotional fulfillment. This is what's hidden. And I feel like this is what's really wanted. The Nine of Cups is it's emotional fulfillment. It's happiness, but not happiness outside of you. This is inner joy, inner peace, inner balance. You see how she's balancing these candles? Inner balance, peace of mind. You know, look at the light around her head, like peace in your mind, peace in your heart, being balanced in your emotions. Okay. Tell me about the Seven of Wands, and this is on top of the Three of Wands. This is what was the expectation, it feels like, when you stepped into your power, you started taking responsibility and accountability and being a leader that you're called to be. You know, this feels like what was the hidden reward, you know what I mean, for you doing the right thing. It's just you being so balanced within yourself and having a sense of personal satisfaction. But it feels like there's still an opportunity for that. Tell me about the Seven of Wands. The Hangman. There's a need to surrender to surrender to what was expected. You need to surrender, okay, so that you can see things differently. You're defensive. Someone is very defensive. The truth is seen. You need to acknowledge the truth, but instead of acknowledging the truth, there's this defensiveness. You want to defend yourself. You feel attacked. You feel, this is someone who's in a very defensive energy. And when you're in this energy, you can't hear the truth. You can't. It's like you're so defensive that you can't see yourself. And when you're defensive, you also can't change. Yeah, someone is defensive about this choice that they made, you know. Maybe because subconsciously they have regret. Tell me more about the Seven of Wands. Okay, we had two cards come out here. We have the Eight of Cups. Oh yeah, you need to walk away from this defensiveness. Somebody has to walk away from this defensiveness and close this cycle. This feels like someone has been in a cycle of not following their highest good, not following their intuition, not trusting themselves, making poor decisions, missing opportunities. And then when they realize the truth that they have missed the opportunity, they judge themselves and they just become very defensive. This is someone who needs to slow down. They need to slow down so they can gain a new perspective. Because what they really want is peace. This person really wants peace of mind. They really want peace. But in order for them to have this peace and be in this Nine of Cups energy, they have to learn how to trust and follow their intuition. you know? And when they don't, they need to be able to look in the mirror and take accountability for their choices. But this is someone who, it feels like whatever this is still there. The opportunity has not been missed. This is an opportunity for you to change, for you to have a new perspective. You have to leave that behind. This way of thinking, this emotional way of thinking. You have the Nine of Cups here, which is subconsciously what you want. But you are in the Eight of Cups energy. This is an energy of needing to walk away from something and end a cycle in order to get this Nine of Cups energy. You need to look at things differently. I feel like this hanged man has to do with this artist as well. A way of seeing things, a new perspective. When you look at yourself in the mirror and you tell yourself the truth and you accept it and you stop being defensive, the cycle will end. There's a need to end the cycle here. Yeah. We have the moon. You need to face your fears. You need to face your fears. This Emperor energy, but this is with the Seven of, this is, I feel like you are a leader. You are a leader. You are deep down, you are a leader. You were born for this. I feel like you're an earth angel who came to lead, but you keep denying the call for whatever reason. Refusing to see yourself, to see what you're choosing, to be. If you're going through difficulty in your life right now, there's a need for you to take a look, right, at why. We have the High Priestess here, the subconscious mind. Why am I sabotaging myself? This feels like total self-sabotage. Why am I self-sabotaging? What beliefs are driving me? That requires surrender. You can't force change. You need to surrender to what it is. I'm not making good decisions. Acknowledging the truth. Surrender. I surrender. I'm walking away from this. You make a choice. The Eight of Cups, walking away, is on top of the Two of Pentacles, aligned decisions, right? Choices. But you need to walk away from this defensiveness. This is in the associated with being defensive and defending yourself, right? Defending yourself can be appropriate sometimes, but in this reading, it feels like you just feel attacked. When somebody tells you the truth, you feel attacked. This is someone who feels attacked when they can't even really see the truth because they're so defensive. They take it personal. And there's a need to walk away from that, to leave that attitude behind. To see things from a different perspective. Find some peace within yourself. Go within. The High Priestess, subconscious mind, she is within. She's in the deeper parts of you. And there's a need for you to connect with that energy in a peaceful way, accepting in an accepting way so that you can see what you need to see about yourself. And face your fears so that the change can happen. You don't force change. Change happens. You allow it. You don't force change. You can't force change. You have to allow change. And in order for you to allow change, you have to be in alignment with the truth. You have to be able to accept hard things about yourself. Look at yourself in the mirror and say, this is who I am, but maybe this is not who I want to be. Okay, tell me about the artist. We got the devil. Popped right on top of the moon, facing your fears. But we got the devil here. So there's this with this devil card. Are you fooling yourself? Yes. There's nobody else in this card. There's only one person and their mask. This is someone who is fooling themselves. Someone who is lying to themselves. Someone who is wearing a mask, who is two-faced, but not two-faced with this is a reading. This has nothing really to do with other people. This has to do with you. We have mirrors here. Look, we have mirrors here. This is not about other people. This is all about you. Wearing a mask, lying to yourself, pretending to be something that you're not. But why? Why? Why are you doing that? You can't see the world or see what you need to see. I feel like this card, the artist, is about looking at yourself. When you look at yourself, then you can recognize the world that you're in, because the world, the life that you're living, the life that you experience, the way that you see the world is a reflection of your inner. It's a reflection of what's going on inside of you. This feels like you don't know yourself, or you don't like yourself. And so you feel the need to mask all the time. Yeah, and whatever this is, it has something to do, it's happening in your subconscious. So maybe you're not even aware that you're doing this. You're not even aware that you're doing this, but you're trying to find some peace. You're thinking that this is the way to peace. You think that this is the way to fulfillment, So there's some type of disconnect, because the way to fulfillment is you being yourself. You're a star. You have guidance. You're being called to something, which is this leader, the emperor here. But you're wearing a mask all the time. It's like I feel this energy. You don't like yourself. You're afraid to be yourself. Tell me, the Lovers. Yeah. So you have the devil, energy, right? This is someone who is wearing a mask. And you have the Lovers. This is about being in alignment. This feels like a calling for you to recognize, okay? Recognize this denial of yourself. Recognize the fact that you are masked and that you're not accepting who you really are for whatever reason. You know what, you dig deep. It's in your subconscious, okay? And you surrender to that. You make peace with that. You have to make peace with that. You have to make peace with your own inner belief system. The subconscious holds your belief systems. And for some reason, you feel like you can't be yourself. That's why you're so defensive. Because it's hard not to be yourself. You think it's hard to be yourself, but it's hard not to be yourself. The Lovers is about making a choice. This is about being in alignment with yourself, with your masculine and your feminine energies within yourself. And there's a need for you to do that. That's how you help yourself finding that alignment. But you can't do it until you look in the mirror and accept what your current state of being. You don't have to try to change anything. Just be honest with yourself and accept it. Ace of Cups, give yourself divine love and love yourself for exactly who you are. You know what I mean? You don't have to try to change this. Just see it. Acknowledge it. Acknowledge that part of yourself that finds it difficult to accept yourself. Just acknowledge it as the truth. And give yourself unconditional love, because that's what the Ace of Cups is. It's unconditional love. It is the love of the divine who knows and loves you regardless. Look in the mirror and see that you're an angel, but you're denying yourself. Okay? And we have the Ten of Cups here. That's how you get to your happiness. That's how you begin to attract everything that you want in your life and become fulfilled, in your life. When it pours out of you, when you're in this Ace of Cups energy, in alignment with yourself, seeing yourself, even the darkness, even your shadow, seeing yourself and saying, this is a part of me, and you integrate in those energies, and it starts to pour out into your environment, and you start to attract all this love. Look, love from other people, love from the animals, love from the garden, from nature. You start to attract all of this love that is a part of who you are, and you begin to feel that and embrace that, and it embraces you. All right, let's move on to the ending, the death. What do we need to know about this death? We have the Page of Wands here. This is new energy. This is reviving energy. This is receiving new life. Ooh, I just got a chill. When you put an end to this, when you put an end to this way of being, holding yourself back, being defensive, feeling the need to defend, you don't need to defend yourself. You just need to look and see the truth. That's it. And accept yourself. Accept yourself. Stop fighting with yourself. This is a whole inner battle going on. But there's a need for you to let it go, to let the love in, to align with yourself. Trust me, God is going to fix everything that's broken inside of you. The Spirit knows exactly who you are, and they're trying to draw it out of you, but you have to be willing and participate, and that requires you surrendering. That requires you looking at yourself and saying, I see myself. Because when you accept your shadows, when you accept your own shadows, and you don't try to fight and defend against, seeing the truth about yourself, you know what happens? You become an amazing leader who is able to lead others and steward others and become a foundation for others because you know what it's like to be them. Isn't that what Jesus did? Jesus can relate to everyone, and this is not a religious reading, okay? But I'm talking about a way of being. When you experience yourself, when you go through life and you go through hard things and life hardens you, and a lot of times you become this person that you really don't want to be, that you don't even like yourself, and you begin to hide from yourself. But you're being called to growth. That's why you're in this phase here. You're being called to growth. You're being called to a higher calling because you are a leader. And it's not for you to forget what you've been through, or to X that part of yourself out, or to separate yourself from your shadows. It's so that you know yourself. And when you know yourself, okay, you know what? I know I'm not a perfect person. I know that I can have bad days. I know that I've done wrong things. But now when someone else comes to you and they're in their shadow, you can recognize them, you can empathize with them, you can understand them better because you've been there. But also you can give that person hope because you've been there and you saved yourself. You can say, I was in that energy. I betrayed myself. I didn't like myself. I didn't like other people. I betrayed other people. I did all these things, but you know what? I changed. Something happened and I accepted who I am. And when I accepted myself and I made a decision that, you know what, I'm looking at myself fully and I don't like what I see in the mirror. I want to be different. I want to do something different. I want to elevate myself from this place that I'm in. And when you do that, the divine steps in and helps you. And then you don't lose that part of yourself. You recognize it in others. And it allows you to have compassion and to be a leader and to give them that hope, right? Because you have the bird's eye view that people can change when they acknowledge the truth in themselves. And that acknowledgement reconnects you with everything, with your world. It brings, everything grows. It brings water into your life because you were thirsty, right? Thirsty for real love and connection. Everything becomes connected to you, including nature, people, animals. Everything becomes connected to you, and you receive a new life energy, a renewal. It's like being born again. You get this new energy, this new spark, because you put an ending to a way of being, right? You made a choice, a decision. And we all have the capacity to do that. We all are free to do that. And you mastered. You're a master of something. Right? When you get to that place, where you have accepted yourself and you have changed, you have looked in the mirror and saw yourself and accepted your shadow and integrated yourself and realized the goodness that is in you that only you can draw forth, you become a master. Oh my goodness. You become a master. That's who you are deep down. That's who you are deep down. Okay, guys. And we have the Knight of Pentacles here. Steady. All you got to do is keep putting one foot in front of the others. Keep putting one foot in front of the other and stay focused. Stay focused on your path, right? Stay focused on your path because you are creating a legacy, your legacy. That's your reading. The Knight of Pentacles doesn't rush. He takes his time, he knows where he's going, and he puts one foot in front of the other. That's what he does. And he does get to his destination. He absolutely does. But he is focused. Focused. Look how she's looking at that pentacle. Focused. You hear me? Determined to get to where she's going. And that's the legacy. That's what you share with others. I kept putting one foot in front of the other and I stayed focused. And that's what you share with others, that they can do it too. Okay? All right, guys. That was your reading. I hope it was helpful. I hope it was insightful. Whoever is in this energy, I just want to encourage you to believe in yourself and to trust yourself. And don't be so hard on yourself. Don't be so hard on yourself. Lighten up a little bit. Sit with yourself and ask yourself, what do I need to know about me? And listen. And listen. And always remember you have a choice. We are never stuck. We always have a choice. There was a time in my life where I felt stuck, where I wasn't making the right decisions. I wasn't doing the right thing. My life kept going in circles and circles because I kept making the same terrible decisions and really going against what I knew was right for me to do. And a lot of that had to do with following other people, afraid to be myself, trying to fit in. But I realized that my life was going in a direction that I did not want to go. And I did not like what I was seeing and expressing out of me. And I finally, when I got sick of that, continuing to repeat a pattern of the same type of behaviors, getting the same type of results, and ended up feeling the same type of way, I realized that it wasn't other people, it was me, that I needed to change because I wasn't being myself. And in order for me to grow, in order for me to even feel good about myself, I had to surrender to that and make a decision, a choice to be in alignment with who I am. And when I did that, and I'm not saying it was easy because it was not easy, and temptation came, lots of temptation, but I was determined to not keep getting those same results. I was tired of being in pain. And that's what helped me to stay focused on what I really wanted for myself. Because I got tired of being in pain. Are you tired of being in pain? I hope so. Ask yourself. All right, guys. Thanks for allowing me to read for you today. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.